Hello everyone, so welcome back. And Dr. Shiv is with us. We'll be speaking on the topic leadership among mentors by Dr. Shiv Joshi. Dr. Shiv Joshi has completed his MBBS and a postgraduate diploma in geriatric medicine. Currently, he is the final year MD student in community medicine at Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Medical Sciences, Sevagram. He is an internationally certified in principles of bioethics and human by United Department of Education and has certification in human. He is serving in the capacity of national convener in this network and as national president Students Program of India, part of International Network of UNESCO Chair in Bioethics. He is an active contributor to the working on primary health and member of medical ethics working group at World Medical Association Junior Doctor Network. He was recently selected as a member of first ever associate members task force on E at the World Medical, and we'll be starting with Chilsa's PPT. So yes,
Then respond with a discussion and not an argument. If the first instance or the first impulse that you get is to step over someone, just be with you. Okay. If at the first instance you feel that you need to challenge someone, just reflect and respond with the friendship. In a nutshell, notice these little things. Tanvir, one click more.
yes,
The idea is to always respond and never react. Okay, so reaction is just like, something happened and you immediately became very angry about the situation and you did something which now you cannot reverse, and you are probably guilty about what you did in that moment of impulsivity. And it's not just about the anger, it is about a lot of decisions that you make as a leader. Do you reflect before responding, or is it like an situation that just unfolds in front of you and you just just like a reflex you react to it? Okay, if you do that, it is very difficult to become a good leader, because a leader is expected to understand all the viewpoints. A leader is expected to understand the discussion, and a leader is also expected to keep people out of argument and quarrels. So we cannot do it unless and until we reflect and we respond. So we absolutely do not react. And we'll one click more.
yes,
But of course, if it is a matter of life and death, like if a dog is running behind you, so please do not try to reflect or respond. Just immediately react and run. Okay, so the idea is to understand this in the context of leadership, and we need to understand that how this dynamics of reaction versus response works. Tanvi, next slide. Most of us would often notice, the perks that have been enjoyed by our leaders. And let me explain this. That why do we need these leaders in first place? By giving you an example in context of a tribe. Okay. So in early days of us as humans, we lived in tribes, and most of us know this from our history books. But purani baat hai, isko yaad I understand. But then, yes, we used to live as tribes, and in this tribe, for sure we would have a person called tribal chief. Okay, Tanvir, one more click.
yes,
So now there's always a tribal chief, okay, in this tribe, and that person is supposed to be the leader. So he gets the best of everything. His tribe loves him, and he gets the best of all the materialistic comforts: a bigger hut in the tribe, a heavy meal, higher say in everything. Okay, Tanvir, one more click.
yes,
But then the tribe is attacked by a tiger, right? And the first one in line to fight for the tribe is this tribal chief, correct? Next slide, Tanvir. We are talking about the same tribal chief, who enjoyed all the perks and who must lead with the tribe to strike this enemy. Now his tribe expects this from him. It does not matter if the chief thinks otherwise. The chief enjoys the best of everything, right? Tanvir, one more click. The chief has the power of position and authority, right? Next one. he is basically the face of the movement. So if there's any revolution, if there is any war, if there's any fight, it is the face of the leader. If it is any institution, organization, it is actually the face of this leader that is the face of the movement, right? Tanvi, next. Vast sphere of influence. So a leader would usually have a contact with a lot of like-minded, as well as people who have analytical approach to various various strategies, and people who are critiques. So by critiques I do not mean people who criticize. By critiques I mean people who have the art to appraise of the good and bad of the things. Okay, so it is not about criticizing, but a leader is usually in connect with a very large number of people who would have equal, or maybe a little disproportionate number of people who are like-minded, and also people who are um, who do not who do not agree to what the leader has to say. So but you would have always a vast sphere of influence, and of course there are greater access to opportunities. So we are always looking at these perks that a leader enjoys, right? And it is not wrong. I mean, the leader does enjoy such perks, but at the same time, Tanvi, the next slide,
Yes, sir.
he has his own family to think about, and has almost the same interests that all of his tribesmen and women would have. Okay, the tribal chief is also very much human, ain't he? But the ultimate price that every leader must pay is self-interest. Okay, be it your hospital, be it your association, a corporate, or an organization, these are all nothing but modern versions of the same tribe. The medical fraternity is a tribe, and there will be those sacrificing their self interest, compensated by their tribe for their sacrifice, those who will keep voicing for what is right, those who will keep their tribe first, and those who will not hesitate to fight the enemies for the protection of their tribe. So it is not just the loss, not just keeping the tribe first, but it's also keeping up with the never ending expectations of the tribe. Okay, so a leader has to face that, and it takes a lot of courage to keep up with the never ending expectations. Tanvi, next one. A leader is supposed to answer the failures and has to take responsibility of whatever goes wrong too. So it is not just about becoming the face of the movement, but it is also to answer the failure and to take responsibility of what has happened. So there are greater sacrifices. Tanvi, next. Is always under the scrutiny. So every step that you take, there would be some within your tribe or within your organization, your institution, who will always question you, which is also a good thing, because it makes you introspect as a leader, and it also helps you evolve better strategies. But at the same time, there's a lot of pressure to be always under scrutiny. Okay, that is a big sacrifice that a leader has to pay, must pay. Tanvi, the last click. Yeah, and a leader is always under the pressure to know the end at the beginning. So whenever you are in a position of leadership, people expect you to know how this is going to end. Okay, but at that time, it's not about being practical. It's about this belief system that you can create in the team. It is about how much confidence you can radiate and the team can practically imbibe. Okay, regarding how it is going to go. I mean, if I say that, okay, team, let's just this is going to be the plan of action, let's go ahead. But as a leader, you will always be under the pressure to know the end at the beginning, because one of the members will always come up and ask you, how do you know this is going to work? And frankly speaking, you can never know it. You never know it always. You always cannot know that. Okay, many a times it would be a situation which you are facing for the first time as a leader. Okay, so there is this immense pressure that a leader has to cope up with, and these are definitely greater sacrifices as compared to the compensation or the so-called perks that we think that a leader enjoys. uh, Tanvi, next slide. Let me summarize leadership, okay, in two key ideas. It is clarity and self-discipline. Next slide. First is the clarity. Serving in a leadership position, myself, and I believe a lot of people are here. I believe the mentors whom I have seen and followed, they have a lot of clarity. And there is the clarity of, the goals, clarity of the small steps that are needed to reach these goals, the clarity of the actionables that you need to take for achieving the steps. But that alone is not enough. We can chalk down our goals and even have a schedule to follow, but then would we stick to it no matter what? We all know how much we stick to our schedules, right? So that is where the difference is. It is, and no one ever said it was. So accepted that it is not our job to become a leader, but each one of us can be. It is this clarity that gives you an advantage as a leader. Okay, Tanvi, next slide.
Yes.
And that brings us to the second important key idea, that is self-discipline. Now, a great leader always embodies self-discipline. You can never find a leader who can do away with self-discipline. A leader ensures that the goal is reached and that the team can attain their set benchmarks and go beyond. And self-discipline is often seen as some type of punishment or being very hard on oneself. But I don't know. I think it is a matter of a perspective. We need to focus on the why. It keeps us going. As a leader, when you feel that you are demotivated or you feel that that's something that you need to achieve, it can be something very simple. I mean, it might be just like passing one of your subjects as a medical student. Okay, you are a learner. Okay, you still need these qualities of self-discipline. If you are leading a small working group, maybe you are doing some research, you have a team of research people, so you have these 5 6 students working in a team for research. You need to have the self-discipline. You are preparing for your exams, you need to have self-discipline, right? So it is very important to focus on the why, like why you began in the first place, and why you had these plans, why you are following this schedule, why you made that schedule in the first place. And that will make sure that you stay on the track. And that is what self-discipline is all about. And I think while many would think that self-discipline is nothing but some type of punishment, or being very hard on oneself, I still think that it is a matter of perspective. Tanvir, the next slide.
Yes.
To me, self-discipline gives me the freedom to have time for everything. To me, self-discipline and clarity makes a leader the leader. It is all the difference that you see between people who are not able to lead and people who actually lead. They have this immense clarity of thoughts. They have an immense clarity of what is the problem, of what they are out there to achieve, or how they are going to achieve this, right? More than the how, they know exactly what they are trying to solve. That is a lot of clarity. And most importantly, they have this extra edge of self-discipline. And that basically makes an average leader, or a wannabe leader, into the leader. And that is how I say that it is a matter of perspective. We can see this as something being hard on oneself, or we can see this as an opportunity. That is about a perspective, right? So this was a brief which I wanted to share about all of you when it comes to leadership amongst medicos. And there are a lot of ideas that I shared here, which I think you can apply to not just your not by just being a medical student, but also when you become a doctor, when you are leading a larger group of uh, health as well as paramedical workers with you, when you are leading a hospital, or maybe when you join different organizations or institutions, associations, or if you don't do anything of like that, you are still a leader, a role model for your community as a medical student. So all these concepts, if you can imbibe and understand, Leadership is not something which you can read about and you can just become a good leader, but then you'll always have to keep trying to make a better version of yourself. You'll have to keep giving in to your team. You'll have to keep your tribe first, and only then you become a great leader. Okay. Tanvi, the last slide. Having that being said, wish if there's any time, I understand, Tanvir, if there's time and if there are any questions from the audience, I would like to join them in this discussion. Tanvir, thank you. Thank you for giving me
Yes,
this time.
sir. Actually, I received one question earlier that they
Yeah.
want the students who just joined MBBS. They want to know that you've had so many positions of leadership throughout your journey as a doctor. So, sir, how have they benefited you, and how do you think? What would be the first advice you want to give to a first year student? Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Tanvir, and thank you for this question. I think it is very relevant. And let's say yes, I have worked in different leadership positions, and believe me, it was not always like this. And so when I say that I worked in different leadership positions, I also mean that I started from the very ground. I mean, when I started as a public relations officer for my state, and that also as the second public relations officer for my state. So I was not even the only PR manager for my state, and that is how it started. But what has helped me during this journey is mostly about learning from whatever you are doing so as I mentioned, leadership is not something that someone can just give you. It is not something that you can read from the books and you can gather, right? So when I say that, and I understand that the question is directed to how this has helped me, I would, before I actually answer that question, I want you to realize that it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, and it takes a lot of determination to actually become a good leader. It's not like we can just start by something, by doing something, and maybe a month or so and you become a very good leader. It's never like that. You will face failures. I faced failures. My team, I was, if I care to share this, I'd like to share this. It was in the year 2014 that Indian Medical Association Students Wing started. So there was this Indian Medical Students Association, which then later was imbibed into IMA, and IMA Students Wing, the first concept of Students Wing in IMA. It began in 2014 at Delhi under the leadership of Mathanda Pillai sir. Okay. And soon after that, in 2015, I formed a national tech team. Okay, so it was first of its kind. No one thought of making a tech team, and so I was working on a very ground level. I was, I had no contacts whatsoever. I had no person looking after me saying that, okay, I'll put you in a team or something like that. So when you're working in such ground level teams, you tend to realize that there's a lot to learn from the leaders that are there, the existing leaders, the mentors, as I say. So what happened was I had this national tech team, and for some reason there was a backfire. I mean, there were some members within the team who actually conspired against the team, and my entire team failed. A lot of people felt the brunt of that, and I had to lose my entire authenticity in front of my state IMA. Okay, so this was the situation when Jayesh Lele sir, who is the current HSG now in IMA, he was the then president of IMA State Maharashtra. Okay, and you imagine losing everything that you have earned over a period of 1 or 2 years to a single incident, a single event. It's a lot, and it gives you these experiences. This so that all I wanted to say is that there are going to be moments where you will fail, And but definitely you need to stay put, and you need to keep improving yourself. So never say that what you are doing is something that you have always done and it is right. It's not like that. We have to keep improving ourselves, and that is how you become good leaders. Okay, by learning from others, by learning from the senior leaders, by taking what is the best of them, and by leaving what you feel is not necessary. Okay. But when it comes to the advantages, of course there are advantages. I would say that today, being in today, I'm really fortunate to lead IMA JDN as the national convener, and I'm also fortunate to serve as the national president for the UNESCO's program of students in bioethics. Right. So while I'm doing these activities, I of course get this advantage to collaborate with a very varied type of individuals. Okay, individuals who have excellent academics. So some individuals would have excellent academics, and there's a lot to learn from them. How they strategize their time. It's a very good way to actually learn from people who are doing it. You'll find people. I come in contact with people who are excellent leaders, like totally they know leadership. So now when you see them, you feel that they might have been born with leadership skills. But then leaders like Dr. Ved Prakash Mishra, just leaders like our honorable presidents, the state IMA presidents, the national IMA presidents, secretaries, okay, senior IMA leaders, very senior IMA leaders like Mathanda Pillai sir, Vinay Agarwal sir, Ashokan sir, now Rajan sir, a lot of people in your own state, people in the national leadership, they all teach you something, okay, and it doesn't have to be a discussion like, sir, please teach me that or this, right? It is more of an observation. It is more of an, like I said, everywhere you go, you're going to inspire conduct. Everywhere you go, people are watching you. Same thing happens to you when you are becoming a leader. Okay, you are looking at people who are the designated leaders of the profession, right? You look at them, and it definitely helps. It helps you in your academics. It helps you in your career. I mean, today I feel privileged that there are over 20 states where I have my friends, where if I need any help, be it people from Japan Medical Association, right? I met people from Malaysian Medical Association. I started sharing ideas, right? And gradually, in no time, you start interacting with all these international leaders in the field, right? So that is how you grow. Basically, you develop yourself, and I think that is the real benefit you can get as a leader. That you are able to understand the larger aspect of whatever is going on in and around you as a medical student. So I think that is what I would call my benefits of leadership, and that is how it has helped me, and it helps me to continuously improvise myself till date. So I hope I answered that question, Tanvir.
Yes, sir. Sir, thank you so much.